Every winter, as the Bering Sea freezes over, a group of hardened fishermen sets out on a mission unlike any other. They're not chasing fame or adventure. They're after something hidden beneath the ice, something worth millions of dollars, and possibly their lives. This is the story of how one crew hauled in over 200,000 pounds of king crab in just 7 days, a catch that earned them more than $3 million. But this isn't just about money. It's about survival, skill, and facing down one of the most unforgiving environments on Earth. Each year, crab fishing season opens a narrow window of opportunity. The crew must work against time, storms, exhaustion, and the freezing cold. There's no second chance, no pause button. If they fail, they go home empty-handed, or worse, they don't go home at all. The king crab, with its thick shell and towering legs, isn't just a luxury on dinner plates. It's a prize that drives men to risk everything. From the moment the ship leaves port to the second the last pot is pulled, every move is calculated, every second counts. In this video, we'll take you deep into that journey. You'll see how the crew battles the ocean, masters their equipment, and turns each catch into gold. This is not just fishing. This is a high-stakes race against nature itself. And to get started, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you won't miss our next exciting videos. If you enjoy this video and its topic, leave a comment with the number 1. We'll create more content like this. And if you don't like it, feel free to comment with the number 2. Dutch Harbor, Alaska. Cold, remote, and rugged. Tucked away on the Aleutian Islands, this small fishing town isn't just a dot on the map. It's the beating heart of the king crab industry. From here, nearly every major expedition begins. The docks are lined with steel giants, crab boats built to survive the harshest corners of the planet. Their decks are packed with steel crab pots, towering stacks of gear, and fuel tanks filled to the brim. These ships aren't just machines, they're lifelines. The crew boards in silence. No celebration, no ceremony, just sharp eyes and practiced hands. Everyone knows their role. The captain studies the charts one last time, mapping out a route into the open sea. Below deck, the engineer checks every valve, every pressure gauge. On deck, the greenhorn tightens ropes, learning by watching. There's no room for hesitation out here. Every tool, every motion, every person must be ready. Once the lines are cast off, the town fades behind them. Dutch Harbor disappears in the mist as the ship pushes forward into the North Pacific. The journey ahead spans hundreds of miles. The deeper they go, the more the world around them changes. Shorelines vanish, and the horizon stretches endlessly in all directions. The Bering Sea greets them with a gray sky and a growing swell. No one talks much. The crew knows what's coming. Maybe it's their 5th season, maybe their 15th, but the wait never lessens. Each trip carries its own uncertainty. The charts help, the forecasts help, but they don't guarantee anything. The sea always keeps its secrets. Inside the wheelhouse, the captain sips his coffee, eyes fixed on the radar. He knows where he wants to go, but he also knows he might have to change course at any time. Out here, experience is a tool, but never a guarantee. As the boat carves through the waves, the real mission hasn't started yet. But the tension is already real, quiet, heavy, and shared by everyone on board. There's no turning back, only forward, deeper into the cold unknown. The work begins long before the first crab is seen. Out here, catching king crab isn't just about luck. It's a finely tuned system of coordination, calculation, and hard physical labor. It starts with the crab pots, massive circular steel cages wrapped in thick mesh, each weighing hundreds of pounds. These are the tools of the trade, and the crew handles them with a mix of speed and precision that only comes from experience. The captain studies a combination of sonar readings, GPS coordinates, past data, and his own instincts to decide where to drop the pots. Location matters. So does depth. King crab prefer colder waters, usually between 100 to 400 feet deep, crawling along the seabed. Each pot is baited with chopped fish, commonly herring or cod, chosen for their strong scent to lure the crabs in. Once baited, the pots are pushed off the side of the boat and sink into the dark, icy water. Each drop is carefully recorded. Timing is critical. Leave the pots down too short, and they might come up empty. Leave them too long, and crabs might escape, or worse, spoil. The crew returns hours later, sometimes overnight, to retrieve them. A hydraulic winch hauls the pot back to the surface. groaning under the weight of what could be hundreds of pounds of crab, or nothing at all. As the pot breaks the surface, the crew braces. The metal cage swings over the deck, dripping with seawater and sometimes tangled with ice. One wrong step here can be deadly. Safety is second nature. Heavy gloves, anti-slip boots, and constant awareness of the moving machinery. The deck is cold, wet, and loud. Nobody looks away from their task. Everyone knows the risks. Once the pot lands, it's unlocked and opened. If the crew's calculations were right, the cage will be filled with red king crabs, their spiny legs reaching out, claws snapping. Each crab is inspected quickly, size, sex, and species. Undersized crabs, females, and any non-target species must be thrown back immediately, alive. It's not just a legal requirement, it's how the fishery sustains itself year after year. Breaking those rules means massive fines or losing the right to fish altogether. The legal keepers are tossed into large holding tanks filled with circulating seawater, kept at cold, stable temperatures. From this point on, maintaining quality is everything. If a crab is mishandled or injured, it risks dying before it reaches port, and dead crabs bring down the value of the catch. Some boats even have oxygenation systems built into the tanks, keeping the crabs in top condition for the journey home. Meanwhile, the used pots are cleaned, rebaited, and prepared for another drop. The cycle continues, hour after hour, often for days without rest. It's a brutal rhythm: lift, sort, reset, repeat, but every moment matters. Efficiency isn't a luxury out here. It's the only way to survive and succeed. Technology helps, but it doesn't replace the grind. Sonar and GPS may guide the captain, and hydraulics may lift the pots, but it's human strength, endurance, and sharp eyes that keep the operation going. The machines don't check crab size. The machines don't brave the wind and ice. That part still belongs to the crew. A crab fishing vessel isn't just powered by engines and steel, it runs on decisions. Out here, strategy is everything, and at the center of that is the captain. His job isn't just to steer the boat. He's constantly reading the sea, trying to make sense of a living, shifting world beneath the surface. Sonar and GPS provide data points, but they don't tell the whole story. The real skill lies in identifying patterns, where the crabs are moving, how deep they're resting, whether the currents will help or scatter them. Some captains track lunar cycles, others watch seabirds or water temperatures. Many rely on notebooks filled with years of hand-scribbled coordinates and tide charts, each page telling a story of success or failure. A good haul depends on spotting the right hot zone. Drop too early and you might waste hours pulling up empty pots. Drop too late, and another boat might already have cleared out the area. Sometimes a captain will take a chance, go further out, deeper down, or try a spot no one else dares to touch. It's a gamble, one that could lead to a massive catch or nothing at all. There are moments when the radar looks clean, but the gut says stay. Or when the numbers say turn back, but the water feels right. Instinct matters more than most people realize. Some of the best decisions are made without a word, just a quiet shift in direction, a nod to the crew, and a new pot hitting the water. But even the best captains get it wrong. One wrong call, and hours of labor are wasted. The crew pulls up pot after pot with barely a crab inside. Morale drops, time slips away, fuel burns, and the margin between profit and loss shrinks. Yet the very next decision might turn everything around. When the pots start coming up full, it's often thanks to a sudden hunch. Maybe the color of the water changed. Maybe the seabirds gathered a little too far west. Maybe it was just a feeling, backed by seasons of experience. Whatever the trigger, it leads to a change in direction, and suddenly, the boat is on top of a jackpot. This kind of decision-making demands total coordination. When the captain changes course, the crew adjusts in seconds, repositioning gear, updating coordinates, prepping for a faster turnaround. There's no room for confusion. Every shift is immediate, often unspoken. It's a dance built on trust and repetition. In the frozen waters of the Bering Sea, success isn't just about muscle, it's about the mind. And when the strategy works, the reward is pulled from the ocean in spiny red clusters. Living proof that instinct, when sharpened by experience, can still beat even the coldest odds. Every time a crab pot hits the deck, the crew does more than just check for crabs. They're doing silent math. 21. That's the magic number. Each pot needs to bring in at least 21 legal-sized crabs just to break even. Anything less, and the entire operation begins to slip into the red. That number accounts for everything. Fuel costs thousands of dollars per day. The engines run around the clock, burning through diesel as the ship crawls across miles of ocean. Then there's maintenance, hydraulics that groan with every lift, winches that can snap under pressure, electronics that fail without warning in the cold. Every part that breaks takes time and money to replace. There are meals to prepare, bait to restock, licenses to maintain, insurance premiums to cover. And that's before the first dollar of profit is even considered. The money doesn't flow equally. Most vessels operate on a share system. After deducting expenses, the remaining earnings are split, some for the boat owner, a cut for the captain, and the rest divided among the crew based on position and seniority. A seasoned deckhand might walk away with a solid payday, but a greenhorn at the bottom of the totem pole earns far less. And no one gets paid if the pots come up light. It's easy to imagine that a $3 million haul makes everyone rich. But that's not the reality. Many of these fishermen are working to stay afloat, not to get ahead. Some are paying off loans from past seasons, others trying to cover medical bills, boat repairs, or debts from bad weather years when storms force them back empty-handed. Success isn't a bonus, it's a necessity. A failed trip could mean losing the boat, the license, or the ability to fish next year. This is why some captains compare it to gambling. Not because they're reckless, but because no matter how skilled, experienced, or prepared they are, they can't control what waits beneath the waves. They can study the data, watch the weather, and pick the best spots. But they can't guarantee a full pot. And they certainly can't afford too many empty ones. The invisible pressure builds with every haul. You won't hear the crew talk about it, but it shows in how quickly they move, how tightly they grip the railings, how quietly they calculate. Every crab matters. Every pot is a coin flip. Out here, you're not just fishing for crab. You're fishing for stability, for survival, and for a chance to keep doing it all over again next season. Once the crabs are safely hauled in, the race doesn't end. It simply changes course. Now it's about preserving quality. Each crab that hits the sorting table is quickly assessed by experienced hands. The live, healthy ones, strong shell, active movement, no damage, are immediately placed into seawater tanks on board, where chilled, oxygenated water keeps them stable and alive. These crabs are the crown jewels, destined for live markets and top-tier restaurants. But not all make the cut. Some crabs arrive with cracked shells or are too weak to survive the journey back. They won't go to waste, but their path is different. These are sorted out and prepped for immediate processing. Right there on the boat, a separate crew begins boiling them in seawater, locking in flavor and freshness before chilling them rapidly to prevent spoilage. Timing is everything. The faster the meat is stabilized, the higher its quality when it reaches land. Back at port, the crabs continue their journey. The live ones are transferred into larger holding tanks, often monitored 24/7 to maintain precise temperature and salinity. The processed crabs are rushed to local plants, where the work shifts from survival to craftsmanship. Workers wearing gloves and aprons move quickly yet carefully, removing legs, claws, and bodies with practiced efficiency. There's no machine that can do this part as well as human hands. The meat is pulled gently to avoid tearing, ensuring it stays intact and tender. Each leg is checked for firmness and moisture. Even a tiny flaw, a bruise, a crack, or too much softness can mean the difference between a premium product and a discounted bulk shipment. The best meat is set aside for gourmet packaging. The rest is cleaned, graded, and frozen into vacuum-sealed pouches or canned for wider distribution. Packaging isn't just about wrapping things up. It's about preservation. The live crabs are packed in insulated styrofoam boxes layered with sea gel or cooling packs, then sealed and marked for urgent delivery. Temperatures are monitored from boat to truck to plane. Most shipments are designed to reach restaurants within 48 to 72 hours, fresh, alive, and ready for plating. The destinations vary. Some crates head to Tokyo's seafood markets, where buyers inspect them under fluorescent lights before whisking them off to high-end sushi bars. Others land in New York, destined for fine dining establishments where chefs steam the legs gently, serving them with nothing but drawn butter and lemon. And some take a longer journey to Norway, where chefs use volcanic stones and oak steamers to coax sweetness from the thick shells. In every place, the king crab holds a different meaning. In Japan, it's a delicacy of purity, served raw or barely cooked to highlight the ocean's flavor. In Korea, it's a communal feast, steamed whole and shared with dipping sauces and rice. In Scandinavia, it's simplicity itself, no seasoning, just sea salt and heat, letting the meat speak for itself. But whether it's eaten in a minimalist Michelin star kitchen or shared at a rustic coastal table, one thing is constant: the reverence. These crabs aren't just food, they're a connection to something larger, to the cold depths they came from, to the men who braved storms to catch them, to the journey that turned them from wild creatures into culinary treasures. The logistics behind it all are staggering: coordinated shipments across continents, temperature control down to a decimal, buyers who know exactly what grade they want and how fast it must arrive. It's a delicate system, running on precision, timing, and trust. And when the plate is finally set down in front of the customer, glistening red, perfectly cooked, smelling of salt and sea, it carries more than just taste. It carries a story, one that began far away, deep beneath the ice. 7 days at sea, no real sleep, hands cracked from cold, a deck that never stops moving. It's a grind that tests everything: strength, patience, and willpower. And for every full crab pot, there's a cost carved into someone's back, someone's legs, someone's quiet stare across a frozen horizon. Behind every bright red shell is a human effort, one you don't see on the menu. The danger isn't dramatized, it's daily. A slip, a snap of steel cable, a rogue wave, and the entire story can change. These fishermen don't chase comfort. They chase just enough to stay afloat, enough to get back to port, pay off a loan, and maybe, just maybe, sign on for the next season. The ocean doesn't hand out rewards, it makes you earn them. Pot by pot, day by day. In the freezing dark, with machines groaning and boots sliding, it becomes more than work. It becomes survival. And when they make it back, with 200,000 pounds in the hold and exhaustion in their bones, the crab finally begins its second journey. Somewhere far away, in a quiet fjordside kitchen, a chef prepares one of those crabs. He doesn't add anything fancy, just sea salt and steam rising from volcanic stones. It's not a performance. It's a moment of respect, the kind that honors where the food came from and what it took to bring it here. So the next time you see king crab on a plate, think of the cold, the risk, the hands that pulled it from the deep. And if these stories matter to you, if you believe labor should be seen, not just tasted, then subscribe. There's so much more beneath the surface. Thanks so much for watching today's video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and hit that subscribe button so you won't miss any of our upcoming content. See you again in the next video.